Hello students, today is Friday, April the 24th, 2015, and here are your TOPS announcements. It's T-shirt day and hat day at the TOPS offices today. There's about a month left at school, just 1 month. So check your grades, make sure you're making the grades that you want to make. If you're failing any classes, please take advantage of any resubmissions or retakes that you get to do. Just contact your teacher if you are curious about that. End of course tests are the week after next. So if you're in an end of course subject, which is English 1, 2, or 3, Algebra 1B, Algebra 2B, Biology, or Chemistry, you definitely want to do some of the practice stuff that your teachers have provided. Go back through, I know in English, like there's something pretty much in every module for EOC practice. Go through and practice that. If you need more practice materials, ask your teachers. I'm sure that they have them. But you want to study really hard for these next week, and you should have been, being in the classes studying for it. But you want to make sure you do your best on that, and I'll talk about that in a second. So why do we give EOCs, end of course tests? Well, they're state mandated tests. In other words, the state of Tennessee says that we have to give them. The reason the state of Tennessee says we have to get them because the federal government requires it through No Child Left Behind. And so if you didn't give the test, then the federal government would hold funding for you, and Tennessee would be forced to make up that money some other way. So that's how it works. What's your responsibility with these tests? Well, it's different than just a test you take in a class and you get a grade, a good grade or bad grade, and therefore it's really only affecting you whether you do well or poor on the test. End of course test is, first of all, 25% of your grade, which is a pretty big chunk of your grade. So you kind of owe it to yourself to do well on it. The second part of that, 50% of your teacher's evaluation score comes from how you perform on the test. So when teachers are evaluated, like I do an evaluation and give them a score, and then the other half of the score that determines what they are labeled as a teacher. They're labeled either a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody wants to be a 5. A normal teacher is a 3. A poor teacher is a 1. And so those two scores combine to make up that final score, which determines a lot of things for the teacher. For example, if you're a level 1 teacher, I think it's for 2 or 3 years in a row, then you can lose your license. So you owe it to your teacher to do your best on this test, as well as yourself. And then for me, my evaluation is done the same way, except it's done with all the test scores, and then an evaluation that my boss gives me himself. He ranks me 1 to 5, and then your test scores, I take 50% of my evaluation comes from your test scores, and so you owe it to me to do your best on this. And that's all I ask. I don't expect you to make any certain score, but I do expect you to do the best that you could do. And finally, our entire school, when the state report card comes out, our entire school is judged A, B, C, D, or F based on our test scores 100%. So how you do on the test and how every student does on the test determines how we are graded. And for those of you who went to TNBA, you will know that they are being closed down this year because of low test scores for I think it's like 2 years in a row. I don't know. It's different than brick and mortar schools, and I hate that they're shutting down, but I'm just telling you that's how serious it is. And so I expect you to take it seriously and realize that you have a responsibility only to do your best. And that's all I ask. And part of doing your best is being prepared for it and making sure you go back and look at anything that you feel like you need to look at. I do want to give you a warning. The last few weeks of school are the easiest time for students to start slacking off, because something happens in your damaged teenage brain that says, oh, since I'm almost done, I'm really kind of done because I'm passing, so I probably can miss a few assignments. Do not think that way. I want you to, finish really strong. Many of you who have like a D in a class can probably bring that up to a C. I know teachers are giving a lot of opportunities to resubmit stuff and to redo some things. So take advantage of that. If if you're on academic probation, you have to pass all your classes or you'll have to go somewhere else to school. That's just how our policy is. You knew that ahead of time. You were told that in a letter when you were put on academic probation. So you better get it figured out and pass all your classes. I went through and looked at a lot of students, and many are doing wonderful, and then some aren't. So you need to really get that figured out these last 4 weeks if you're going to stay here. Seniors, very important that seniors finish really strong and make sure you don't just mess up and fail one class, because that can knock you out of graduation, and I don't want to see that happen to anybody. So finish really strong. Don't let the gremlin that tells you to slack off, don't let that get to you. Don't listen to it, because it's bad advice. Thought for the day, and I forget who made this quote, but Brad Stevens, the Boston Celtics coach, said it to his team the other night, and I thought it was really good. The quote is, "One can only see the consequences of not doing the little things to realize that there are no little things." So yes, do the little things, but realize the little things are the big things once you add them all up. So do every little thing you need to do to finish out the year the right way, pass all your classes, do great on your EOC. Then it'll be smooth sailing over the summer. You don't want to spend your summer looking for a new school. That might not be as fun. So hope you guys have a great day, and hopefully we'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend.